All right, we are back with episode 2 of this Out of the Park Baseball 26 series where we'll be rebuilding the Pittsburgh Pirates. We are going to go through opening day, and I'm going to show off uh, the not very in-depth gameplay, quote unquote, because like you don't really play baseball in this game. You play the manager and you sort of watch baseball. And then we're going to simulate through the first half of the season. We're probably going to do the draft in this video. I don't know if we're going to do the trade deadline. That might be for the next episode. But yeah, I want to get through the first half of the 2025 season. I set my lineups and everything. Everything's how I like it. We're going to get into opening day today against the Miami Marlins, who are one of the only teams in the National League that are actually worse than us right now, I would say. All right, so just going over the uh, starting lineup against the right-handed Sandy Alcantara, we have Jack Sawinski leading off in left field, Andrew McCutchen in right, Brian Reynolds, the designated hitter, O'Neill Cruz in center, Henry Davis catching, Ke'Bryan Hayes playing third, Jared Triolo playing first, Adam Frazier playing second, and Nick Gonzalez playing shortstop. So yeah, here it is, opening day. Got this cool little fly around angle here. See a good amount of yellow in the stands. We love to see that. Some Pirates fans. And Sawinski strikes out to open up the 2025 season. Andrew McCutchen going to put that one into play, and it will be caught by the left fielder Brian Reynolds with a 1-2 count. He's going to pop it up to the infield where the third baseman, Connor Norby, will catch that. So no runners in the first half inning. Now let's see how Paul Skenes does against Miami. Going to get Xavier Edwards to ground out here. Now it's Otto Lopez, who is going to line it right back to Skenes, who makes the play. And then Connor Norby is going to ground it to Triolo at first. Skenes is going to cover, so no base runners for either side in the first inning. It'll be 2-1 to Ke'Bryan Hayes. And that is going to be the first base hit for the Pittsburgh Pirates this season. A single up the middle for Ke'Bryan Hayes. Triolo up the middle, and that's going to be a base hit as well. They have these, not quick time events, but ball is shallow, Hayes is an average runner, and Hill has a normal arm. Because the ball is shallow, I'm going to hold up Ke'Bryan Hayes at second base. A base hit will score a run here. So let's see if we're able to get that from Adam Frazier. And we are not. That will end the inning, but 2 hits in an inning. Pretty solid for the offense. O'Neill Cruz with a base hit into left field. Nice to get a base runner on there, and I might ask him to steal second base here. He's got 70 speed, 70 stealing. We're definitely going to ask him to steal second base. Goes, and he's safe by a mile. First stolen base of the year for O'Neill Cruz. And Ke'Bryan Hayes into the outfield. O'Neill Cruz rounds third and scores. That is our first run of the season. Ke'Bryan Hayes with an RBI single, scoring O'Neill Cruz. And the Pirates lead 1-0. 1-2 to Derek Hill. Strikes out swinging. No damage done. That's going to be a base hit for Dane Myers to lead off the 6th. That's going to be Xavier Edwards, who is going to crush that one into left center. It's going to be off of the top of the wall. Myers is going to score. Edwards is going to third. And it's a tie game. Skenes has 80 pitches. I'm going to see if he can bear down here and get through the 6th inning. Strike 3 to Otto Lopez. Norby grounds it to first. Going home. Edwards is thrown out. That's great defense there. 2-2 to Jesus Sanchez. He's going to hit that into the gap, and that's probably going to score Norby. Son of a bitch. does score Norby, and it's 2-1 Marlins. 1-2 to Derek Hill, and he strikes out looking. We're now down 2-1, and Paul Skenes' day after 94 pitches, 6 innings, 5 hits, 2 runs, 1 walk, and 8 strikeouts. Truly a great pitching performance. Paul Skenes' day is done. We will turn to somebody in the bullpen. All right, Strzelecki got through the 8th inning clean, and all we can do now is hope that we score a run. We've got the heart of the order coming up. Ryan Reynolds, O'Neill Cruz, and Henry Davis at least will bat in this inning. Just got to hope that we get a run somewhere, somehow. Against Anthony Bender, who I suppose is serving as the closer for Miami. Ryan Reynolds grounds it to second, and he is thrown out. Now it's O'Neill Cruz with the 1-2 count. He's going to strike out. And our last hope, Henry Davis. It's that one into center. Center fielder getting under it, and he is going to make a play. We lose on opening day, 2-1 to the Miami Marlins. The offense was bad, the pitching was good. It's pretty much what we're going to expect all year here. Paul Skenes had a really good performance. 6 innings, 5 hits, the works. Just couldn't get any runs on the board and can't win the game when you can't score runs. All right, so we're gonna move on. I'm not gonna play through every game at this point. We're gonna go through pretty liberally. I'm gonna be jumping ahead a few weeks. On April 12th is when the draft class for the upcoming draft comes out. I will probably go in and look at the prospects there, see who I like, see who I don't like, make a short list, so that we're ready for the draft in June. All right, we've got our first major injury here. It is April 11th. We are somehow 8-5. We split that series with Miami. We swept the Tampa Bay Rays. And it's been a really strong start to the year so far. I wonder if it can continue on like this, but it will be continuing on, at least for now, without Nick Gonzalez, who will be out for 4 months with a concussion. So we're going to put him on the 10-day IL because I really don't need room on my 40-man. I have 9 extra spots available. So if you were to put a player on the 60-day IL, it would temporarily remove them from the secondary 40-man roster, which you are eligible to pick your 26-man roster from. I don't need spots there, so I'm just going to put him on the 15-day IL. I can keep him there past 15 days. It's just at least 15 days that I have to put him there. Taking him off the active roster and making it so I can call somebody up from the minors. And I'm going to call up somebody who I did not talk about in the last episode, but somebody who I may be quite excited about for this rebuild. Liover Peguero, who the Pirates received back in 2020 in a trade with the Arizona Diamondbacks. Really solid contact potential, great defense, solid athleticism here, 70 stealing ability is quite nice. We're going to bring up Liover Peguero to the major league level and see how he can do in the absence of Nick Gonzalez. Oh, I completely forgot about this. I said in the last episode I was going to try to extend Paul Skenes, and I completely forgot to do that. So let's see what he is looking for, as they do have these tutorials here. I know how to do this. I don't know what he would want. I mean, I want him to be here for at least the next 10 seasons. I don't know what his arbitration demand is. I'll hit, let's say, arbitration, by the way, is how contracts are decided for the last 3 years of the 6 years that a team gets control of you. For arbitration, based on your performance, a player goes to a third-party arbiter with a number saying what they believe they should be paid, and the team goes to that same arbiter with a different number, and the arbiter decides between one of those numbers, and that will be the player's salary for that season. So you get 3 years where you're just on the minimum salary, and then 3 years where you are in arbitration, and it scales up. And then after that third year of arbitration, you see this FA here. Paul Skenes would hit free agency. So I'm trying to, buy out some of these years. Let's say it's $10 million for the first year, and let's try and make it like 15 for the last 2, and then see if we can get him on 20 million for the rest. See if he would sign this 10-year, $166 million contract, which I absolutely do not expect him to do. Your salary offer is not going to get it done. I need to see something better than this so we can move ahead towards a deal. Okay. I'm going to offer this to him. A 12-year contract. I guess I'll put a player option on the last year where the player gets to decide if they come back for that contract. 11 million next year, then 16, then 20 for the last 2 ARB years, and then 25 million for X amount of years of free agency. I'm just trying to be conservative with the amount of freaking money we have. Let's see what he thinks about this. He thinks it sounds reasonable, which in previous games makes me think that he may accept this offer. I would be ecstatic if Paul Skenes accepted this offer. If Paul Skenes hit free agency right now, he might get $40 million a year on his contract. If we can get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years of his free agency at $25 million a year, that would be very terrific. This is a strategy that teams have implemented recently, especially with players who are unproven at the major league level, which Paul Skenes is not. He's very proven. But teams like the Arizona Diamondbacks extending Corbin Carroll to a long-term contract when he had only played like 20 games at the major league level, or the Atlanta Braves, who really pioneered this, extending Ronald Acuna. It was like after his first year in the league or something like that. These teams will offer long-term, relatively low money contracts to players who they think will be very good for them for a long time. The teams want to do this so that later down the line, if they're right and the player is very good, they won't have to pay them exorbitant amounts like they would have to if they were negotiating a free agency contract or a contract extension. And the player would want to do this because, what if I, as the player, get injured and I'm never able to live up to my expectations? I get this guaranteed big contract that, I can have generational wealth from. So I'm offering this contract 11 years with a 12th player option year valued at $242 million, or if you took the 12th year, it would be $267 million. I think this would be a massive discount for us if he were to accept that contract. Let's move on to the draft pool. So I actually won't really go into much of the draft pool yet because my scout is still scouting and updating his ratings on all of the players in my minor league system right now. And so he hasn't had time to scout all of those in the draft pool. But the number one player that is expected to go off of the board at at the draft, this is probably true in real life, is Ethan Holiday, who is a third baseman with incredible contact and power potential. The younger brother of former first overall pick Jackson Holiday, and the son of great Major League Baseball player Matt Holiday. This is a really great baseball family. Ethan, the next iteration in the Holiday baseball family. He will probably be the number one pick, which I do not remember what pick the Pirates have. We have the 6th overall pick. All right. Sean Gamble is who the mock draft expects us to take, who looks like a pretty good player. Great contact, great defense at short or second. But I just really can't get into it much right now because the scouting accuracy very, very low on all of these players, really, as you can see on this right-hand side, low to very low on every single player except for James Talon. Well, this sucks. It is April 13th. I believe we've just been swept by the Cincinnati Reds. We are 8-8, and Paul Skenes will miss a start with a herniated disc. I'm not going to put him on the injured list because I don't want him to miss another start. But that really sucks. I hope that doesn't become a major issue. And wow, while injured, Paul Skenes has signed the contract extension. Thank the good heavens above. Because, like I said, I think this is a real steal for us here at 12 years, $267 million. I know obviously that's a lot of money, but for a player like Paul Skenes, I'm very, very excited that he has signed this contract. Thank goodness. All right, Spencer Horwitz is eligible to come off of the IL. It is April 20th. We are 12-10. And that's great news because Liover Peguero is hurt. He's only hurt for the next 2 days, but I'm still going to put him on the injured list and bring back Spencer Horwitz. Peguero hadn't been playing particularly well, 60 OPS, 1 home run, negative WAR, just wasn't very good. And Spencer Horwitz, we're going to put him in the lineup, and we're going to go from there. Liover Peguero is back and ready to play. We are going to send him back down to AAA while we have Spencer Horwitz here, who's been getting off to a pretty hot start in 6 games, 152 OPS plus. But again, 6 games. So our offense generally has been not great this year, and Jack Sawinski being hurt is not the best because he's actually been killing it in the leadoff spot. But anyway, our offense, 9th in the National League in runs scored. That's out of 15 teams, only half the league. 11th in OPS. We're not hitting the ball out of the park. But we just put up 15 runs on the San Diego Padres, which I think is impressive. Which I know is impressive. Brian Reynolds had 4 hits, one of them being a homer. Adam Frazier, who has 30 power, hit a home run. That might be the only home run he hits all year. Spencer Horwitz had 4 hits. McCutchen, who is playing very poorly, by the way, was the only person in the whole lineup that didn't get a hit. So yeah, good job, boys. More of this, please. All right, we got a message from Tommy Pham, who wishes to be a part of the starting lineup. And to be fair, he's been hitting very well for us. He has a 164 OPS plus, a 934 OPS. He's been getting on base at a 443 clip, which is very elite. I'm going to be honest, I'm just going to see if I can trade him and get some prospects for him. If not, then honestly, I might just give him what he wants because he is playing very, very well for us. But first, I'm going to see if I can trade him. All right, so in the first trade of the rebuild, not a particularly great one or a particularly hugely important one, but we did find a partner for Tommy Pham. We will be trading him to the Cincinnati Reds along with a minor league relief pitcher, Xander Muaith, who has really low control and I don't really see that much of a future for in our system. We'll be trading those for Rhys Hines, who in real life last year made a big impact for a time with the Cincinnati Reds Major League Ball Club, and in this save has been absolutely tearing up the AAA level. We're probably going to start him in AAA, but Rhys Hines, I think, could be a great player for us. I like Rhys Hines as a player a lot more than the 37-year-old Tommy Pham. Hines, by the way, 24 years old, and only having to tack on a not very good reliever to get a player like Hines, I'm very happy about. So with trading away Tommy Pham and bringing in Rhys Hines, who does not have a major league contract, we now have an open spot in the major league roster. And honestly, looking at it, the biggest need right now is starting pitching. Mitch Keller has been horrible this year, a 6.06 ERA. He just got blown up by the New York Mets. Bailey Falter started the season with a very high ERA. You see he was up to 6.44 when he got blown up against the Dodgers. He's gotten it down to a 5.10, but he doesn't even have a win on the season yet. He's 0-6 in 9 starts. And Andrew Heaney, if you're a Yankees fan like me, you don't like Andrew Heaney because of how awful he was when he played for the Yankees. And he's bringing some of that shit to Pittsburgh. He was, after he left the Yankees, he was good with the Dodgers. He was good with Texas. Now he's in Pittsburgh, and he's back to his shit pitching ways. Apparently, very clearly, we need to bring up a pitcher. You could say the prospect Bubba Chandler. I'm actually going to go with Braxton Ashcraft, who is somebody I did not bring up in the first episode, but somebody who is a pretty solid prospect in real life in the minor league system. great control, which is something I love for a pitcher. I don't love the stamina. The stuff is pretty low, but a solid 4-pitch mix. He's been pitching well in AAA so far. A 3-2 record with a 3.51 ERA, 43 strikeouts in 41 innings. Home run rate's a little higher than you'd like it to be. Walk rate is actually kind of fine. Yeah, Braxton Ashcraft is going to come up to the major league team. And we're actually just going to make a 6-man rotation and have Braxton Ashcraft slide right in to that. All right. What goes up must come down, I guess. Spencer Horwitz out for a month with a fractured foot. That kind of sucks. He was absolutely destroying it for us. A 1. OPS is incredible. Obviously, 182 OPS plus. Spencer Horwitz was really awesome for us. I guess we will be bringing back Liover Peguero. Wow, this is strange. I haven't seen this before. So we've changed our team focus from rebuilding to neutral. It is May 26th. We are 25 and 29. I figure well within striking distance for a wild card spot. 4 games back is really not all that far back as it seems. I guess we are the 3rd worst team in the National League, which is a bit strange. But yeah, so Bob Nutting has changed the team's direction from rebuilding into neutral. So that doesn't really change much from what I'm going to do. I'm still going to treat it like we're rebuilding. I'm still going to be a seller at the deadline, probably. Yeah, very interesting to see. For comparison, our rank in the weekly power rankings is 14th, which is actually, pretty much right in the middle. That's pretty solid. Johan Oviedo is healthy. We are going to put him on a rehab assignment. So he will go down to the AAA level or whatever level. The AAA level. To basically just work back up to speed. I like to do this for especially pitchers that have been injured for a while, like Oviedo has, so we can eventually, slowly work him back into the rotation. Also, don't look now, but Braxton Ashcraft has been terrific in the games that he's played. Philadelphia, 8 innings, 6 hits, 2 runs, 4 strikeouts. Milwaukee, 6 1/3 innings, 6 hits, 1 run, 3 strikeouts. Arizona, 7 innings, 6 hits, no runs, 6 strikeouts, and no walks thus far in 21 1/3 innings, 0 walks. So Braxton Ashcraft has been awesome. I hope he can keep this momentum up. Also, Bailey Falter finally got his first win on May 26th. So if you drafted him in fantasy, I'm sorry. All right, so it's the next day. I am back, and we will get into the draft combine pretty soon. But first of all, I just want to deal with a big problem that we have, and that big problem is the Heen dog, Andrew Heaney. You can see a 5.82 ERA. I mean, I like his strikeout rates, but he is pitching like dog shit. And I want to get him off my team because he is a free agent at the end of this year anyway. I'm going to see if I can work out a trade with any team to take Andrew Heaney off of the Pirates. So I'm going to take this deal up top here with our division rival, the St. Louis Cardinals. We'd be giving up Andrew Heaney and Billy Cook, like a bench level defensive replacement outfielder. In exchange, we would be receiving Victor Scott II, who seems to be a solid defender, really, really great athlete. He's been killing it in the majors so far. A 971 OPS. He hasn't played much, but he's been playing really well. The way that I look at it, Victor Scott is just a direct upgrade over Billy Cook, and we get to get Andrew Heaney off the roster, which I quite like. So we're going to complete this trade here. Sorry. All right, so now we're in the draft combine. The annual draft combine allows draft-eligible players to show off their skills and gives teams an opportunity to see more of a particular player and develop a relationship with them. Players will work out in high-level facilities, take on field drills to show off their defense, take swings in the cages for hitters, and bullpens for pitchers. A total of 240 players have accepted the invite to attend the event. many of whom are widely considered to be top of the draft class. The combine has begun and will run for 5 more days, each day providing teams another look at the players. The players attending the combine is a subset of all draft eligible players. Direct your scout to follow and reach out to certain players. Right click on the player name and select add to combine watch list. Each day your scout will watch and reach out to the players on the watch list, thereby increasing your scouting accuracy on the players. That's why it's so shit, all right? And their relationship with your organization. You may assign your scout to any number of players, but the more that is assigned, the less time your scout will have for each and the less benefit you'll receive. That makes sense. All right. So, I guess I'll look through the players I'm interested in, and we'll talk about some of them once I do that. I'll see you on the other side. All right, so I got a strong list here. Obviously, Ethan Holiday is somebody that I really like, but almost certainly will not be available at my pick at 6. I like Ben Jacobs a lot as a pitcher. Great stuff, great control, so he's not going to walk that many people, and a really solid 4-pitch mix with decent stamina. I don't love that he's a fly ball pitcher, but like all right velocity. Like all of this is like this guy's going to be really good. But like starting pitching isn't the biggest need on the team. Obviously, we have Paul Skenes, we have Jared Jones, we have Bubba Chandler in the farm system, Thomas Harrington in the farm system, who I don't even think I showed, and Braxton Ashcraft, who's killing it at the major league level right now. So starting pitcher isn't really the biggest concern for us right now, but I think Ben Jacobs might be the best overall player in the class, even including Ethan Holiday. We also have Omar Cerna here, who looks like a really, really good catcher prospect, although obviously very, very raw, as all these are 30s, 25s, 35s. Xavier Nyans, I liked. Caden Bodine, I really, really liked. He has great defense. He has high work ethic, high baseball IQ, and really, really solid hitting metrics. So Caden Bodine is an option for us at the 6th overall pick. Hopefully he will be. There's a lot of really, really good pitching in this class. Blaine Metz, who unfortunately only has 3 pitches, but he's a ground ball pitcher, and he's got a lot of really good metrics here. We also have Marcos Paz. Marcos Paz. I'm going to go with Paz. Marcos Paz, who has 4 really good pitches, great movement. I wish the control was a little better, but the stamina is great. And Chase Shores, who is another really, really good pitcher. So hopefully, I think our work is going to be cut out for us with our draft pick at 6. I also really like Sean Gamble with really high contact potential. Second, short, outfield, great defense, high work ethic, high baseball IQ. I don't know that I would take him in the first round at 6, especially if somebody like Caden Bodine or Chase Shores or even Ben Jacobs was available at that pick, which means we're probably just not going to get him, but I think he's going to be awesome. Brennan Summerhill is somebody who, if he falls into the 2nd round, I would like to take because he looks like a terrific defensive outfielder with solid hitting metrics. And the best name that I could find in the class, Zion Theophilus. Looks like an okay pitcher, but what a name. Zion Theophilus. All right, so we're not getting that much progress here with the relationship or with the scouting accuracy in a lot of these players. So I'm just going to take some of them off the board, and we're going to see if it improves for the rest of the combine. I think this is day 3 or day 4 of the combine. Okay, so I can't take players off. I guess we got to lay in the bed that we made here. All right, so the combine is over. I don't really feel like we got much better of an understanding of a lot of these players. I guess we'll see how the draft goes, but we got to get there first. And Spencer Horwitz is injured again. Son of a bitch. Can you please just stay healthy? So we're going to put him on the injured list again. And I mean, I don't know. We have players who can fill his spot. I mean, Leover Peguero has not been playing well. Adam Frazier has not been playing well. So I think we'll just go down and bring up a pitcher. I mean, Bubba Chandler's been having a pretty rough year. Thomas Harrington has been like all right. He's actually been pretty good as far as wins above replacement is concerned. Um, but I mean, we can wait on those guys. I feel like how's Reese Hines been doing? Oh, he's been whatever. I'll figure it out. I know he's not playing well, very obviously with the 9 ERA. But I'm just gonna bring up Ryan Baruki because he's 31. He's not in my long-term plans. I don't want to mess up the development of any of the players that I'm actually interested in developing, like Thomas Harrington and Bubba Chandler. I don't want to pull them up too early. Ryan Baruki, I don't really care if I pull him up too early because it's not too early. He's 31. So that's going to be that. Also, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make the probably long overdue move of moving O'Neill Cruz back to shortstop. Um, we have enough outfielders. O'Neill Cruz playing shortstop, you see, like he has good defensive metrics there. He has not been hitting well. Maybe a change of scenery as far as his defensive position is concerned would help with that. Maybe I'm being delusional. I don't know, but something needs to change with O'Neill Cruz here because I mean you can see last year a 114 OPS plus, 3.7 WAR. His OPS plus is cratered by 30 points here, so something needs to change. I had big plans for O'Neill Cruz. Something's got to give. All right, so we've got our first update in our goals here, the midseason review from our owner Bob Nutting. Pretty much, you just want to hit these goals so that your owner, number one, doesn't fire you, and number two, hopefully gives you more money so that you can improve the team. So the team record is 39-40. It is June 23rd, and the hope was that we just wouldn't suck completely. We just wouldn't be like one of the very worst teams in the league. 39-40, Bob Nutting is very happy with. The team chemistry is improving, and the fan interest apparently has had minimal impact. Let's see if we can go into this here. I mean, I would say that this is a solid impact. 62 from 53. I think the fans are more interested. Yeah, the team chemistry getting better, and we're not sucking completely. Our long-term goal is to reach the playoffs by 2030, which I mean, freaking hopefully we'll be able to do. We're tied for the lead in the division. I didn't even notice that on the left-hand side here, the standings. Let me see if I can bring it up down here. There you go. We are tied for the lead in this division right now. We would be, 2 games out of the wild card, but a weak NL Central, we're honestly really competing in. Also, the top 100 list for prospects has updated. Ethan Salas for the Padres is the number 1 prospect in baseball. Let's look at where our guys are. Connor Griffin is still at number 17, but he is done for the rest of the year with a fractured elbow. That really sucks. That's quite horrible, in fact. I don't know if he's going to develop well now. Looking down the list, looking for Pittsburgh. I don't expect us to have any more hitters, and we don't. Pitching, Pittsburgh. Bubba Chandler up to number 53. He has been having a horrible season in AAA, but I mean he's been developing. So yeah, Bubba Chandler up to pitching prospect number 53. Any more Pittsburgh? No. So I think those are the only 2 top 100 prospects that we have: Connor Griffin and Bubba Chandler. We'll see how the rest of the season goes. We may make some call ups and send downs soon in our system here. We'll see how it goes. Sammy Ciani, a 24-year-old outfielder in our AA Altoona Curve team, has been absolutely destroying it at the AA level. We are going to move him up to AAA Indianapolis. We are going to call up starting pitcher here, Derek Diamond, to the AA level. He's been pitching relatively well in Greensboro, our high A level affiliate, 120 ERA plus with really solid strikeout rates and low home run rates. We're going to bring Derek Diamond up to the AA level. We're going to bring up Solomon McGuire to high A. We're going to bring DJ Stewart up to AAA. And we are going to bring Alika Williams up to AAA as well. They've all been playing very well and deserve a promotion. Tamar Johnson has been absolutely crushing it here in AA. He has nearly a 1 OPS with a 160 OPS plus, 3 wins above replacement, on pace for almost 7. We may bring him up to AAA later in the year, but I just really don't want to rush things. I think Tamar can be incredible, and I'm just going to give it a little bit more time before we bring him up to AAA. Let's take a look at the league standings now, about halfway through the season. We see the best teams in the league are the 48 and 30 Atlanta Braves and the 47 and 31 Texas Rangers in the American League. Anything surprising? The Chicago White Sox are second in the AL Central. Remember, they had 121 losses in 162 games last year, the worst season ever by a major league team. They're 4 games back of the division lead now in the AL Central. Also, the Cleveland Guardians, who won this division last year and made the American League Championship Series, dead last in the AL East. Anything else surprising? Not really to me. Not really that I'm seeing. I guess the New York Yankees being as uninspiring as they are is a little bit surprising, but the simulation typically doesn't like the Yankees in the beginning of the saves. All right, and Ryan Baruki is out for a month. He pitched well in the 2 2/3 innings that he pitched for us. He will go into the 15-day IL, and honestly, they may be forcing my hand here in bringing up Bubba Chandler, who has not been good, or Thomas Harrington, who has been pretty solid. I think I'm going to bring up Thomas Harrington. He's getting very upset that he's in AAA. I think it's time for Thomas Harrington to shine at the major league level. We are going to move Bailey Falter into a bullpen role. He just has not been very good. He's been a below replacement level player with a 76 ERA plus in the rotation. We're gonna see what happens. He may be a trade candidate if anybody's even willing to take him. And we are going to move Thomas Harrington into the rotation. His first start will be, looks like, against St. Louis on June 30th. Once in a while, as well, you will receive these player development updates. So we see David Bednar getting worse as he is not having a particularly great season. I mean, I guess his ERA is fine, but his wins above replacement is not. He's saved each of the last 5 games. But, I think he has 5 or 6 blown saves at this point. Victor Scott improving in center field and his speed. A lot of different things. Let's see. Christian Curtis getting worse. A lot of people down here getting better. Wyatt Sanford, who I said I was excited about, has been playing very well at the rookie ball level. We'll see. And we can also change what these ratings are relative to the different leagues. So he's in the Florida Complex League. So this is pretty much what he looks like against fellow Florida players, or against fellow Rookie Complex League players. If we were to move him to the A level, he would get substantially worse. I just don't think I'm ready to make that jump yet. Maybe by the end of the year he'll get there, but I mean, he's tearing the cover off the ball here in the rookie ball level. We'll see about it. Maybe in a little bit. Also, Thomas Harrington's first start, 7 1/3 innings, 3 hits, 1 run, 4 walks, 2 strikeouts. He was quite good. He's got a negative WAR for some reason, but he was quite good, and he earned the win here against St. Louis. All right, Mitch Keller will be out for 2 weeks, so we will be putting him on the 15-day IL. We will move one of these 2 people back into the rotation. I mean, looks like Bailey Falter has been pretty good in relief. I know Oviedo had a terrible appearance against the Mets where he gave up 5 runs without getting an out, but then bounced back the next time. We'll try Oviedo in the rotation. I mean, we know that Falter hasn't really been working. We'll try Johan Oviedo in the rotation. All right, today is July 11th, 2025. Our record is 46 and 48. And today is the first year player draft. So let's get into it. At least, the first round here I'll sim pick by pick up to my pick, and then I will make my pick and sim to my next pick, which will be in the second round. So let's see how it goes. Let's start the draft. Oh, also, they redid the draft user interface for Out of the Park 26. So this will be the first time I'm seeing that as well. Let's get into it here. Big, 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 big. You see the draft order here on the left-hand side. Going down the first 2 rounds, we will have the 6th pick here in the first round, and then the 7th pick in the second round. Around pick 50, we see the slot here. We see the demand that the players want. So after you draft a player in baseball, they don't just go to your team. Like you have to come to an agreement on a contract. And if you don't come to an agreement and that player doesn't sign with you, if that draft pick was in the first 3 rounds, you get that draft pick back in the next draft. So that is an option for us if we don't love the options available for us at the 6th overall pick. We could just draft a guy that we're not going to sign and then get, the 7th overall pick next year. That's an option for us. But I don't really want to do that. I want to draft a player. We'll see how it goes. So we see the mock draft here and the draft pipeline. I guess this is just rankings of the players in the draft, and this is what we expect to happen. But regardless, Ethan Holiday, a top player. We will see how it goes. The Washington Nationals, with the first overall pick in the 2025 draft, select Ethan Holiday. This makes sense. Ethan Holiday, a star player. Well, will be a star player. You figure he goes to the Washington Nationals. With the second overall pick, the Los Angeles Angels select Liam Doyle, one of the starting pitchers that we were interested in from Coastal Carolina University in Conway. I think South Carolina is where that university is. So Liam Doyle, second overall pick to the Angels. With the third overall pick, the Seattle Mariners select Trent Caraway from J. Sarah Catholic High School in somewhere. It cuts off. I can't read it. But Trent Caraway, who was Liam Doyle was the 12th player on the draft pipeline. Caraway 75th on the pipeline, projected to go 10th to the White Sox, goes 3rd to Seattle, who does need to add offense, to be fair. With the 4th overall pick, the Colorado Rockies select Xavier Nayenz, the really, really good high school third baseman prospect. Makes sense. And the St. Louis Cardinals at 5 select Brady Abel. So we get a run on third baseman here. We now have a big choice here. Omar Cerna is available. He's the number 1 player in the draft pipeline. Ben Jacobs, the pitcher that we were really interested in as well, is also available. Although starting pitching is not really the biggest need on the team, per se. Tyler Bremner is who they thought would go high. They think we're going to take J.D. Thompson from Vanderbilt. We're probably just not going to do that, honestly. He looks good. He looks like a very good pitcher, and he's pretty far along in his development if my scouting is correct here, which it almost certainly isn't. But we know that Ben Jacobs is going to be great. We know that Omar Cerna is probably going to be great. Caden Bodine as well. There's realistically zero chance in hell that either Omar Cerna or Bodine makes it to our pick. I mean, if they go off the pipeline, then maybe, because he's far down here. I don't understand these pipeline rankings. Anyway, where does the mock draft have him go? I think that's more realistic. They have Omar Cerna going 14 to Tampa. They have Ben Jacobs going 33 to Milwaukee. Maybe we would be able to get what's-his-face, the catcher that we want, Caden Bodine. We're going to select Ben Jacobs. He wants slot value. We are going to offer him slot value. Actually, we're just going to meet his demand because it looks like the meet demand is lower than the slot. We are going to draft Ben Jacobs with our first round pick. Oh, some confetti. I don't have my headphones on. I heard like a creeper noise in my freaking headphones. But we see confetti here. Congratulations. You have selected Ben Jacobs, not with the 7th pick, but with the 6th pick of the first round. So we are available to pick. Brennan Summerhill is someone who I think will be very good. I'm a big fan of Summerhill. He's almost certainly not going to be available to us the next round. J.D. Thompson, somebody they thought was going to go 6th overall, is still available in the 2nd round for us, but we just took a pitcher. I think the pick here, I've been talking about it all day. High work ethic, high baseball IQ. I wonder actually what his demand is. 850,000. Yeah, we're definitely going to be bringing in Caden Bodine. Oh, it's Washington first. Shit. Okay, thank God. They take Brendan Summerhill. That's fine. That almost was super embarrassing. We're still going to take Caden Bodine. That is freaking funny. Chase Alderman also still available, but he's a 3-pitch starting pitcher. Yes, we are still going to take Caden Bodine with our 2nd round pick. A great defensive catcher who looks like he could be a great offensive player. High work ethic, high baseball IQ, so there's a good chance that he reaches those heights in which we think he could. Switch hitter, 21 years old. Yeah, Caden Bodine will be the 2nd round pick of the Pittsburgh Pirates. Confetti going off. Congratulations, you have selected Caden Bodine with the not 8th, the 7th pick of the 2nd round. We have a pick here at the end of the 2nd round. Chase Alderman is still available. Blaine Metz is still available, who's number 4 on Draft Pipeline. Is his demand crazy? Yes, it is. It's $5 million. Okay. Yeah, I mean, we can't draft Blaine Metz because we can't bring him in because he wants $5 million. I want somebody who's going to be able to sign or who's going to want to sign for the slot or less. Like perhaps Trey Morris. Probably not actually Trey Morris because he only has 3 pitches. Also probably not Chase Alderman because he only has 3 pitches. Alex Lodiz here, my scouting recommendations. He's a solid player. Gavin Fiend. Fiend. Sorry about that. Josh Proctor. I'm looking at guys who we think would go high in the draft that haven't. Nolan Schubart, who is kind of a 2-way guy here, can kind of pitch as well. Kane Kepley. Yeah, no. Let me look at the pipeline. Parker Coyle, 3-pitch guy. I mean, I'm not against taking a 3-pitch guy, but you better have 3 really fucking good pitches, like Alderman does. Like Alderman has an 80 grade fastball, 80 grade slider. He might just be the move, honestly, if he's going to sign for $160,000. He could be real good. We could have a real nice stockpile of starting pitching help here. Obviously, position players are probably more important. I mean, but there's been a huge run on pitching here, and nobody's taken Chase Alderman, so let's just do that. We'll meet his demand as well, $160,000. So it's not really going to burn any hole in our pockets. We're going to take Chase Alderman with the 30th pick in the 2nd round. We're actually going to take Max Williams out of Alabama. Really good BABIP potential for a guy available in the 3rd round. Really solid defense potential, high leader. Other players look up to him, which makes me think he has captain personality, perhaps, which is very, very good. We're going to select Max Williams out of Alabama with our 3rd round pick. RJ Austin here from Vanderbilt is going to be our next draft pick. He was a guy that I really liked in the combine. Great speed. He's a super utility guy. He's really great everywhere. 70, 50, 60 with 65 grade range. We look at his infield range. It's 55 with 60 arm. He can play defense everywhere. We just need that bat to develop, and he will be a weapon. He will be a weapon for us down the line here. We will select RJ Austin with our 4th round draft pick. With my next pick here, I will take Bruin Agbayani. from a high school that I'm not going to try to pronounce in Honolulu, Hawaii. Um, Another kind of utility-ish guy, but he could stick at center or anywhere in the outfield or second, maybe short, probably not. But yeah, Bruin Agbayani, he'll sign for 700,000, which is above the slot, but we can afford since we took some discounts with a lot of our other picks. We'll draft Bruin Agbayani in the 5th round. All right, so I'll go through the rest of the draft here. Everybody else is already signed, and we've already, by hitting meet demand instead of just draft, we've already offered all of these players. Here we got Ben Jacobs with the 6th overall pick in the 1st round, who has great stuff potential, great control potential, movement is all right, with 4 really good pitches. He's a fly ball pitcher, which isn't great. His stamina is pretty solid. His velocity is all right. He's just one of the best players in the class, I think, and we got him at 6 overall. Our 2nd round pick, I'm very happy that he fell to us. 50th overall pick, Caden Bodine. Great defense, high work ethic, high baseball IQ, which is also the strategy that I used to draft my late round players. I just looked at guys that had high work ethic and high baseball IQ and just tried to fill my entire farm system with them. Really, really good contact, really, really good eye potential for a catcher, which is typically a weaker hitting position. Switch hitter, Caden Bodine, 50th overall pick. At 73, we took Chase Alderman, who I was, not excited to take in the 1st round, but, getting a guy like this in the 3rd round, I really don't mind. Could throw that fastball 97 miles an hour, and it's an 80 grade fastball. Looks like he is going to have great movement, great stuff, a great slider. He may be more of a bullpen guy for us in the future, but we're at least going to try him as a starter. See how that goes. Our next pick was Max Williams, 82nd overall. Just a really solid outfielder. Potentially has captain personality. Solid power, really good BABIP. Speed is fine. Defense is pretty good. I like it. And great competition level at the University of Alabama. 113th overall, we took RJ Austin, who is looks like just the absolute ultimate utility player. Great speed, great stealing ability, great base running, great defense here with the range and with all of these metrics here, all of these different positions that he plays. We just need the bat to be pretty good, and RJ Austin will be a great asset for us. 5th round pick, 144th overall, we took a high school shortstop in Bruin Agbayani. May not stick at shortstop. He's more likely to stick at second base or somewhere in the outfield. But still a really solid potential player here. Solid contact potential, solid eye potential. He can run a bit. Low work ethic, low leader, but high baseball IQ. It's a 5th round pick. I like this guy. And then this guy, he's on TikTok. Jackson Baker from Paloma Valley High School in Menifee, California. I hope I'm not the only person watching this video or interacting with this video who has seen the Paloma Valley. I think Aaron Kendall or whatever the guy's name is, who posts those TikToks, just vlogs his high school's baseball games. And last year they had a really good player named Jackson Baker, who, by the way, I do not believe is committed to UMass Lowell. But we drafted him, and so we're going to try to bring him in here for $650,000. We'll just add him to the demand. Jackson Baker may be a Pittsburgh Pirate pretty soon. TikTok boy. And with that, that's going to be the end of this episode. I've spent 2.5 hours recording this over the span of 2 days, so this is probably going to be a long one. If you've watched until this point, thank you. Thank you very much. And yeah, I will see you next time with the rest of the 2025 season, the 2025 playoffs, and an update on our minor league system and how those guys are playing. So long.